Hi, I'm Jenny Lauren Dowden for Conduit News, and today we have attorney Joey McCutchen joining us again to give us an update on the FOIA suit against the Fayetteville Public Schools. Hi, Joey. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Jenny. Glad to be here.
So where are you with the latest with the FOIA suit against the school?
Well, I tell you, it's been a bit frustrating. The law provides that the court will set this within 7 days, and we've had 4 judges recused now. They've each had some kind of conflict. We're not privy to what the conflict or issue may have been, but yeah, 4 judges. I think that's the first time in my career I've ever had 4 judges recused in a case. So
really?
we are now have our in my entire career. We've now got our 5th judge, Judge Lindsay, who now has the case. We're hopeful that Judge Lindsay will hear the case and set a hearing date within the next week or so. But we shall see.
You know, we were looking back at the dates. Fayetteville citizen Isla Campbell sent these FOIAs to the Fayetteville Public Schools requesting information about the district's 5-year equity plan, about their LGBTQ gender plan. And this was sent back May 17th. The first FOIA was May 17th. And today we're at July 15th.
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that? That's quite a bit of time just to request, documentation on some curriculum and documents within the public school system.
Well, it is. That's we're pushing 2 months right now, and I think to put that in perspective, when we as citizens file FOIA requests with government entities, they're to provide their response within three working days, or less. For that matter. Now, sometimes there's an abundance of documents, and we enter into verbal agreements or sometimes written agreements and say, hey, we'll give you more time. How much time do you need? But Ms. Campbell was not given that opportunity, and they didn't take advantage of that opportunity. So yes, on May 17th, she sends a FOIA request to the Fayetteville Public Schools, to which they do not respond within the parameters of the 3-day law. Finally, they respond. They don't produce the information that was requested. So and also indicate that the FOIA request was not specific enough. So she crafts another FOIA response, which is very specific, which they again blow through state law and don't respond either timely or with the documents that were requested. Instead, asking a question: can you just make this to the leadership circle? That wasn't their word. Leadership. Can you make it to the leadership? Number one, it's not their. It's their responsibility to answer what's asked, not ask questions about can you make your response less burdensome. I mean, they work for us. There's been Supreme Court cases that have clearly stated that you can't get out of answering a FOIA request, government, because you don't, because it's there's too many documents, or it's going to take some work. And so again, on the second FOIA request, she doesn't get a timely response, nor does she get the information. And we've been battling with these lawyers who say they did not violate FOIA, yet after we file the lawsuit, they produce 8,000 records. So we just want a hearing. Conduct rewarded is conduct repeated. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that is clear, we've received a ton of calls and feedback on this with folks who want to learn more about FOIA. And so what folks should know are, and you had a question, Jenny? Sorry.
Well, before we segue, one thing that I've thought about, Joey, if she did not have your help with this, receiving that second FOIA back whenever the district said, you know what, but essentially, no, either, you bring in your scope, or, this is too burdensome for us. Essentially, after Isla sent that second FOIA, without the help of any, legal teams, many people would just give up, and they would not, continue to pursue the documents, because it would just be too hard. And they would say, you know what, it doesn't seem like I'm going to get what I want from the district. This seems to be a dead end. But really, it seems as though had you and your team not come alongside Isla and pursued this complaint with the district, we may not have ever seen so far these thousands of documents.
That's absolutely true. We see it time after time that people come up to me and they say, we just gave up. We sent a FOIA request, we just gave up. So we are trying these FOIA cases now. We've literally, at my office, McCutchen, Sexton, Naparano, we've been involved in thousands upon thousands of hours in FOIA cases, and have never, until our most recent FOIA case, have never asked or collected one dime. We've done this purely pro bono, and we're going to continue to do that. But we are, we have now, state law was passed in the last legislative session, allowing attorney fees if they do not comply with the law, and you have to file a lawsuit. And again, that's kind of the stick. Unfortunately, our FOIA, if Fayetteville School District or any other government entity doesn't respond, there's just not a stick other than the attorney fee provision. Mm-hmm. But you're absolutely right. What we need to do is we must hold them accountable. And when a government entity refuses to answer, then seek legal counsel. We're glad to help. And I want to talk a little bit whenever you'd like to, about some opportunities for education about FOIA.
Absolutely. I think this is a perfect time, because I think, as legislation did not pass in this past session, banning CRT curriculum in our public school systems. I think that more parents and concerned citizens need to be FOIAing curriculum and anything within their school districts to see what is there that they may not know about. But then they're going to have questions. I don't even know where to start. How do I do that? And so you have some information on that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right that this is going to be a critical issue. We see that Fayetteville is clearly pushing CRT. Now they don't want to call it that, and that's what districts will do. They'll say, "Oh, we're not. Critical race theory is not part of our curriculum. 1619 project is not part of our curriculum," but they call it by different euphemisms. They call it by different words. They call it diversity, equity, inclusion. They call it equity plans. They call it social justice. All the same concepts, and they teach it all. And we do have to push. We do have to educate. And I think we have to. We've seen groups form in Fayetteville. I know Springfield, Missouri has a group. Fort Smith also has a group who are looking at what we're doing in Fort Smith Public Schools. And we have to get educated about FOIA, because as most folks know, FOIA has two components. One is the open records, where you can get records. The other is open meetings, because what we're seeing, both of those provisions are being violated. We know that there are committees being formed, for example, in Fort Smith, who they'll have one school board member present. In this case, it was a local school board member named Talisha Richardson, who has, and then they have a committee You know, they've got the people at the Fort Smith administrative offices who are organizing these meetings, and the public is never aware that this is going on. I've gotten all the documents on that. So we have to catch this early, and we have to, so that we're seeing not only records violations, but in my opinion, meeting violations also that the public is not aware of.
So is there an organization or some way that these people can learn more about FOIAs?
Absolutely. We have chapters of our transparency in government groups. We have local chapters, and in Western Arkansas, Fort Smith, we have chapters in Hot Springs. We have chapters in Bella Vista, Harrison. We're going to be forming chapters in Jonesboro. We're looking for folks who want to learn more about FOIA and who want to organize their chapters. We'll have a chapter in Sheridan. We have but we've also coordinated among the folks who value light in our government. We are going to, we've now formed a statewide FOIA group, and you can Google that. If you Google Arkansas Transparency in Government Group, you're going to see a website, and we hope to get more information up there where folks can learn about FOIA. We're going to have a local chapter meeting, a local transparency in government. We call it TIG meeting in Fort Smith on August 5th in Fort Smith. That's the tentative date right now. But we're going to have a statewide convention in late September. We're still deciding on the date, and it will be a great educational opportunity. We want to pack the room, but we're looking for folks who want to start chapters. But look, Robert Steinbuck, who wrote what I call the FOIA Bible, the Transparency Handbook. It's a thick book, but Robert is part of our group, and he is available. He's always made himself available to talk with folks about FOIA, get involved in cases. Robert, in fact, who I consider to be the FOIA guru, he, along with Chip Sexton, will be trying this Isla Campbell case in this upcoming hearing, hopefully within days. Getting our documents, but also holding Fayetteville accountable for not doing what we believe the law requires.
If this latest judge recuses himself, what then?
Well, I mean, you know, judges do have conflicts. I mean, maybe they have, we don't know, but maybe they know folks in the district that may be friends with them. Maybe they have children in the district. And they feel like that's a conflict. But if we can't get a local circuit judge, that's fine. They'll refer it down to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has an organization or committee that will find a retired judge in another area, that circuit judge, maybe a former circuit judge. But we'll get a hearing, and we'll get a fair hearing. Right. And that's all we can ask for is a fair hearing. But we want all the documents that we've asked for. Citizens deserve what they ask for. After all, those are our records. Let's never forget that. No matter how much belly aching a government entity may do, look, those are our records. Mm-hmm. We're entitled to those. Mm-hmm. These are our meetings that they're having. We're entitled to those. Open meetings has been something I've tried probably 10 cases to full conclusion, where we've got either school boards, government entities, city councils who are having secret email meetings, who are having meetings, making decisions, discussing public business that's coming up before the public body. Until recently, we've had a strong FOIA law, but I think the law is now in a state of disarray in terms of what is a meeting. And one of my goals is to educate the public. We introduced a definition of meeting in the last legislative session. It never got traction. Now we feel like we have the Press Association on board, and we want a bunch of citizens in the next legislative session, because there needs to be no ambiguity what a meeting is. Because I'm telling you, all over this state, government entities are meeting. They are emailing each other, and they are making decisions that the public is not seeing, and that's dangerous.
And we need to see that.
Yes, we do.
Anything else that you want to add?
No, I'm just encouraged, because I think now people are seeing that they have places to go. They have lawyers that will take these cases, that will fight for their rights. The legislature, I think, made a great move when Professor Steinbuck told them why they need to award attorney fees in these types of cases, so that the citizens can feel confident that if they ask for a public document, they're going to get it.
Right. And I think that was so key what you said. We need to remember they work for us, not the other way around. And we're simply just asking for documents that already belong to us. And then this should be pretty cut and dry. Very
cut and dry. You know, I encourage people to look, if they need a little more time to on an occasional basis, there's a large record request, then hey, give them time. Never make a FOIA request that's just meant to harass a government entity. That's wrong.
Right.
And we have a strong records law right now. Let's keep it that way. One of the things I will add is that during session, there is a FOIA task force, which was created in 2017. When I first heard about the FOIA task force, I was like, oh God, another task force. But I can tell you, it is a task force that works. They review all FOIA bills, anything that relates to transparency in government in terms of FOIA. They vet these bills. They ask questions to legislators. Legislators come to the body, and it has stopped a bunch of bad bills, which otherwise probably would have sailed through our legislative process without ever being vetted. So, and it's open to the public. So I'm encouraging next legislative session for our chapters, which are involved in those meetings, to get involved, because we can add comments, and you learn about your rights. Because if we don't know what our rights are, how can we ever protect our rights? And our rights are valuable.
Great.
And FOIA provides such important rights.
Well, thank you for all that you're doing on this. Please keep us updated, because we want to be sure to follow everything that's happening.
Thank you. Anytime.
Thanks so much for watching. Be sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe. For Conduit News, I'm Jenny Lauren Dowden. We'll see you next time.